Hello, Brian Randall from West Central Illinois. We farm around Biggsville, Gladstone area. Have fortunate enough to farm with my dad for the last, some since 1998. Do a lot more with him within the last probably 10 years. In addition to farming, I co-own a truck accessory, diesel pickup repair business here in Gladstone. So Randall's Performance started in 2005, started on my own. Thankfully have been able to grow it. We now have 6 full-time employees, co-own it with another gentleman that works full-time in the business. The Randall's Performance helps to supplement the farming side of things for me, helps us to try additional things with the cover crops, more of the strip tilling, stuff like that. So we are doing more cover crops all the time. This is the 3rd year that we are integrating cover crops in. Last year was the first year that we did it of much significance. One of the big things that I noticed last spring, shortly after planting, we had a pretty heavy rain, 3 inches or so in about an hour and a half period. This particular field, the very west end of the field is very heavy ground, so water does not infiltrate into it all that well, and is very tight ground, almost like river bottom type going. And so I was digging trenches so that the water could run off the next morning. It rained 6-7 o'clock that evening. The next morning, 7-8 o'clock, I was digging those trenches, and it had been underwater for that 12 hours or so. And something that was truly amazing to me was half of the field had cereal rye on it, the other half had nothing. It had been inline ripped and then strip freshened and planted corn into it. The other half had the cereal rye on it that I had planted corn into. And when I was digging the trench where it had been inline ripped and strip freshened was just a glob of very saturated soil that had absolutely no structure to it. When I dug where the cereal rye was, the dirt actually stayed together and resembled what soil should look like after it had been saturated for a good 11-12 hours. We have irrigations down here, and the ability of that ground to take in the moisture from the irrigation, to stay cooler from the cover crop, helping to arm it, cut back on the amount that we had to irrigate, even though that it was a very dry spell up until first part of July. Having both the farming operation and the business can be stressful. Thankfully, the people that we have within the business run it spring and fall pretty heavily. I actually don't do as much of the day-to-day operations as I used to, which helps to allow me to do more of the farming. We take a lot of pride in doing a lot of the farming ourselves, as far as our own custom application of herbicides and pesticides and all of our own equipment for the strip freshening and tillage and that sort of thing.